I've never done 3 parts, but I just got to get this last scripture out. And the last scripture was coming from 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7, which reads, "And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered." So, I left off with talking about how men need to understand that your body belongs to the Lord just as much as the woman's. God is not giving you brownie points and saying you the man for sleeping with all of these women, for being a fornicator. He's not happy with that. Whether it be male or female, sin is sin. Period. And God is going to judge it accordingly. I know double standards exist in the earth, but in God's scripture it says he's not a respecter of persons. He's not going to turn around and say, hey, I know you a man and I know you got needs and I know you like to be very sexual in nature, and for some reason when you see a woman and she smiles at you or she smells good or she walks by you, you just got to have her, so you got to go sleep with her. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you don't love your wife. It doesn't mean that you don't love the woman that you may be courting. So, I get it, brother. Don't even worry about that. Matter of fact, when I put it in the scripture that thou should flee from fornication, I really meant to say that only women should flee from fornication, because see, when women have sex with men, there's an emotional attachment. They can't do the same things that men do. So forgive me as the Father in heaven for forgetting to put that only women shouldn't be promiscuous. Is that what you men are truly expecting to hear out of God's mouth, who is holy, who is righteous? When you go to your judgment, you think he gonna high five you for being a hoe, a harlot, as the scripture calls it? He said if you lay with a harlot, you the same thing as her. Y'all are having a spiritual exchange. Y'all exchanging demonic spirits, be it good or bad. Y'all exchanging spirits. That's why he say the two shall become one flesh. That's why sex is for marriage, because that's how much oneness comes from that activity. And I know it's easier said than done to flee from fornication, but fellas, women, I want to encourage you. There's nothing good to come from joining yourself to someone sexually who is not your spouse. It does not benefit you. And even you more so, ladies, because I don't know how many times I have to watch TikTok videos and Instagram videos of a woman so brokenhearted to the point where she might even switch teams, thinking it's going to be better over there, and women just as trifling, because sin is sin. But the point of the matter is, she might become so brokenhearted because she didn't uphold the standard that God has set in the earth. Women love to say, well, a man will only do as much as you allow. Okay. So you allowed him to not marry you. You allowed him to have sex with you before marrying you. You allowed him to put a baby or babies in you before marrying you and claiming you as his own. He's getting all the benefits. Not saying that it's right to be in fornication, because the scripture clearly depicts that it's not. But he benefits way more than you could ever benefit if there is no marriage. So, women, you need to start figuring this thing out. You might have a sex demon too. And if you're so afraid that if you do not have sex with him, he's going to leave you, then as my father told me, if a man really loves you, he'll wait. So if you've been convinced how these men out here saying that she don't give it up by the second or third date, I'm out. Let them be out. You're dodging a bullet. You are literally dodging a bullet. He's not a man of God that's trying to live according to righteousness, fleeing for fornication, keeping himself pure, fleeing from sexual immorality. That's not a man you want to join yourself to. So, if marriage is the goal for you, men and women, because men, you get confused too. I see too many men getting married to women after spending all this time with her having sex, and he overlooking all the red flags because he's so happy to get his sexual organ fulfilled, that now he's convinced himself that she don't have all these red flags beforehand, and he marries her and he say, man, she tricked me. No, she didn't trick you. You tricked yourself. Because just as strong as you think you are, you become silly for that part between your legs. This is why we see men all over the earth losing their status. They might have worked 20 years to build up their career, and in the blink of an eye, because of what? Sexual immorality. Yeah, you might be stronger than this physically, but you give your power up when you sleep with us. Now, God gives us the power to manipulate. That's how scary it should be. Proverbs, flee from the adulterous woman, for her words are smoother than oil. She is a smooth talker. She smells good. She looks good. She knows how to dress. She knows how to walk. She knows how to capture you. God said, don't even look down her street. Don't even walk down her street. For she's taken down many men, strong men. So you can continue, men, to try to convince yourselves that sex means nothing to you. It's not the same as it is for a woman, or whatever the case may be. But the scripture depicts a different picture. You lose your power every time you engage in that activity, especially with that activity with one that's not your spouse. So I know I've been going on a tangent, but men and women, I just want to encourage you to try to live by God's standard day by day, going to his word, going before his altar, repenting, changing your behavior, changing your mindset. He said be renewed in your mind, because what's going on in your head is going to lead to how you behave. And if you still have it in your mind as a man that you can do as thou will, it's going to be the death for you. Whether you see it on this side of the earth or not, you are leading yourself down a path of damnation. So much so that God said, if you have a spouse and you want to behave in that way, that he would hinder your prayers. That's how serious it is to God to honor your marital vows, to keep your covenant holy, to forgive one another, to care for one another, to love one another. This is not a game. Marriage is to be a direct reflection of God's love in the earth, and one in which, for those who are blessed to have that procreation, to have children, and God bless those who are not able to procreate. But God still loves you. God still honors your marriage, and God still values the way that you love and care for one another according to his word. Y'all have a blessed day.